Okay, so here we are. This is the third video. This video, third argumentative essay paragraph. So here now that we've got our body paragraphs and our counterclaim, we're going to write the introduction. So why write the introduction last? Well, it's really hard to introduce something that you haven't written yet, right? So now that you've written your essay and you know what your claim is and you have your reasons and your evidence, it's much easier to introduce it. So we talked about this, and some of you used these strategies in your last argumentative essay, but there are really four main ways to begin, right? To work your way into this argumentative essay. And honestly, if we think about it, and we talked about it in class, like looking at Google Earth, we start with a very wide view, and then we start to zoom into our very specific 3-point claim, right? So there are four different ways to be general and to have that very wide view at the very beginning. You can offer background information on the topic, so you may need to give your readers information to help them understand your position, like what is some important information that they should just know on the topic, right? The second broad way to start is to define a key term. And you may need to show like how you're using certain terms, right? So for the college athletes one, maybe it's about using the term and focusing on the word amateur, right? That college athletes are amateurs, which you'll see that's the example that I kind of went with, right? Or you can take the term student athlete, right? For your GMOs, maybe you want to talk what is a GMO, right? You can define the term and think about using that strategy. You can also use an attention grabber, starting with a shocking fact or explaining why a common practice or idea is wrong, and that usually kind of says, makes your reader go, huh, okay, it makes them stop and think and want to read on. And then finally explain the context, right? So what's going on surrounding this argument, because all arguments are part of a larger ongoing conversation. So you might begin by showing how your argument actually fits into this larger conversation, right? And how it fits in relation to arguments that have already been made. So just keep in mind, as we're doing this, we're working our way down to a very specific 3-point claim on our topic, right? So first thing we want to do here, we want to use a strategy from above. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. All right, so again, here you have those things. You all have this document, so I'm not going to spend too much time looking at that. So here, we're going to use a strategy from above, right? So I choose to use number 2, define a key term, right? So one of the key terms here that I talked about was amateur. So my way into the essay, my way to start the intro, I just want to define amateur, and kind of that's going to be my my way in, right? So I wrote, an amateur is someone who doesn't get paid for their services. College athletes are amateurs, even though they bring in a huge amount of revenue for their schools and the NCAA. Short, sweet, to the point, nothing too much. It doesn't need to be overly developed. I just want to weigh in, right? That's how I start. And that leads me to the second part, where I get to introduce the issue really in the form of the question that they give me, right? So because of that, right, and this blends in, remember, this is the paragraph now, right? Once I take this, I just put it together. There's my introductory paragraph. So this begs the question, should college, I'm misspelling, sorry. Should college athletes be paid to play? And then we make our 3-point claim, right? So our 3-point claim is really our answer to that issue. So throwing the issue in there is a nice middle piece that takes us from the wide view to the more specific view. So this begs the question, should college athletes be paid to play? They absolutely should be paid to play. There's my claim, right? They absolutely should be paid to play. But my 3-point claim includes my 3 reasons that I believe this, because they put a lot of time and effort into their sports. They can lose their scholarship due to injury at any time, and because the scholarships they do receive don't cover all the cost of college, right? So there's my claim. I have 1, 2, 3 points, and I have a 3-point claim. I go from the general to the very specific. Now, the reader, after reading this 3-point claim, that person's going to expect that body paragraph 1, this is the first reason, this is what it's going to be about. Body paragraph 2, this is the second reason, they can lose their scholarships due to injury at any time. That's what that paragraph will be about. And then the third paragraph, because the scholarships they do receive, right? So this 3-point claim also provides your reader a blueprint for your essay.